I'm Andrew Chris, and I lead a firm called Borderless, 22 consultants operating worldwide, and we do international work as a basis for our work.
Andrew, we're talking about career transition, and in particular late-stage career transition. So executives will often find themselves in a situation where maybe for reasons that are beyond their control, they have to make a career transition. How should people approach that stage in their career?
I think inevitably, if it's a forced transition, is what you're referring to, it can follow an unpleasant event. It's a big shock in life, particularly if it's the first time you've had this. So the main thing is not to escape into some kind of fantasy world. I've had this international career for the last 20 years. I'm exhausted. They don't like me anymore. What I want is a local job where I can manage everything and do everything. Please don't do that. This is too much of a change to what you've done before. Within 6 months, you'll find the world becomes very unsatisfying, talking to the locals about local things when you've been used to a far broader international perspective. Don't leave yourself unsatisfied.
If I'm coming up to this career transition, how do I need to start that process in terms of looking for whatever's going to happen next? How do I start that process?
Well, a good place to start is to stare at the ceiling in the middle of the night and find out what's really inside you as opposed to what logic tells you what to do next, which is usually more of the same. Really what you'll be doing, particularly in later transitions, you've seen the world, but what about you personally? What is it that really drives you? If you had a true choice, what would you do? Scuba dive in the Maldives or do something completely different? And I've seen many instances where this is a wonderful moment to reflect. You may end up doing exactly what you've done before because you are truly enjoying it and you have it in your stomach that you want to do this. But if it isn't, don't force yourself. Go and do something which you really love to do. Life's too short to engage in stuff you don't enjoy.
You often work with executives who are going through this process. What's the advantage of working alongside an external advisor if I'm going through this career transition phase?
Well, there are only two people who are really interested in you. One is yourself, and you should really be interested. And the second person is the one that lives closest to you, whether that's your partner, your spouse, whoever that is. They will also know you. The problem is you tend not to listen to your partner very often, right? So a third party, like an impartial consultant that doesn't have an axe to grind, is really interested in making sure that whatever you do, number one, you're happy, number two, you're successful in whatever you decide to do next. Getting to that really requires some deep thinking and some deep work by the consultant and you to get to know yourself.
What is the role that you play as an external advisor here?
My number one job is to stop people jumping into the next best thing, which is usually a repetition of what they've already done. So help people understand the experience they're going through, unfortunately today especially, is no longer unique. It's well understood, and well understood by any future employer. So if you take the time to really allow things to wind down from your previous disappointment and to lift you to a totally different mood, totally different way of thinking about yourself and the world, this is an incredible period to be able to do that. But do not jump into the next best thing.